Growing carrots is fun, easy, and produce a great harvest at the same time. But when talking about thinning seedlings or not thinning out seedlings, what could be best for us in our gardening situation? Should we do it or should we not? Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ripley and we are growing in southeastern Wisconsin, zone 5B for your gardeners out there. We are going to be harvesting our carrots out of our garden beds in today's video. We got a couple of different carrot varieties and we also thinned some out. We thinned some aggressively, some moderately, and then some we just did not thin whatsoever. And in today's episode, we're going to be seeing exactly what kind of results we got from that thinning. Maybe it was worth it, maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. That's what we're about to find out. I want to encourage you all, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, you know what you got to do next. Also, you can now become a channel member, which means directly supporting our channel through your membership. This is going to allow us to expand and grow the garden just like we have every year, but hopefully at a little bit more of a rapid pace because that's the way we want to grow. Without much further ado, let's get to it.
Welcome to Exhibition Homestead, and I hope you enjoyed this video.
Well, nothing to it but to do it, so we're just gonna pull pretty much anything in here. We just got a nice rain, so hopefully these come out pretty easily. Some pretty good looking carrots on the first row so far.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at that. Beautiful bunch right there. Oh, our chickens are gonna feast on all these weeds.
Yeah.
Whoa, look at that one.
That looks like rocky legs.
Yeah. Ugh, come on. There we go. Nice. All right, so these first two rows looked pretty good, and those were the ones that we thinned out. So there's a couple of smaller ones here and there where we could have thinned them out even more. The carrots that we did thin out weren't an extreme thinning. They weren't like 2.5 or 3 inches, more like 1.5 inches on each one. But even at that distance, they did pretty well. Now we'll see how all the ones did that we let just grow wild. I'm not so sure what the results will be with this one, but
We did grow ones wild.
yep, let's just pull them all out. Ooh.
We did grow ones wild.
Yeah. Here, I'll hand them to you. A little bit more bug damage on these so far, but the sizes aren't negligible. That's pretty decent. Good. Let me just show you a bunch here. These are the unthinned carrots. They all form together fine, wrapped around each other a little bit. Surprised, I thought there would have been more of a negative impact. You can tell it's a pretty decent carrot bed when you can just pull them up in giant bunches like that. We've got some good soil that we've built here so far. We got mushrooms growing all over the bed. Great stuff. It looks like there's mycelium all throughout the soil. See the little white hairs everywhere. So now for some reason, just on this row, they are a lot smaller. Probably gonna end up being chicken feed as well or compost. We'll just till that right into the soil here. And now we get into a different variety that I planted. This variety did not grow well. It was like a mixed color variety. So it's supposed to be a bunch of different kinds. Most of them so far have been a lot smaller. Didn't do too well.
Oh, that's a funny looking one.
Some Queen Anne's lace. Now that we've harvested all the carrots, what we do is all the stuff that either had bug damage or was too small for us, we'll divvy up some of it and give it to the chickens. And the rest, we're gonna till into the soil right now. We'll till this in, and it's gonna start composting away for us, giving nutrition for next year's crop. It's a little bit too late for us to plant any sort of fall crop at this point. We're getting some pretty cold temperatures at night, so we're going to prepare this bed for next year. It's basically just tilling it up in the first couple of inches of soil. Even if you don't want to till it, if we just take this and lay it around like this, cover up all the soil, and then take some of our coffee grounds that have been sitting outside gathering all sorts of bacteria and fungi. Spread that all around. Oh. There we go. And you could leave your garden bed just like that throughout the winter months. That material that we put on top of the soil is going to be breaking down, feeding the bacteria, microorganisms, and fungi in the soil for as long as possible, helping keep that soil alive. But what I'm gonna do is kind of continuously add to my beds as they're being put to sleep throughout the fall months and early winter months, as we get kitchen scraps, different compost that has finished in the pile, little bits of wood chips I'll throw on the top as well to make a final layer for us. All that stuff I implement to feed as much as I can back into the soil. It is our fertilizer that we're constantly giving input to for our garden beds. So we've got lots of carrots to harvest, that's for sure. To me, this is what this experiment says. While not thinning out your seedlings was definitely okay, and we still got a lot of harvest from that with almost no work whatsoever. We just sowed the seeds, watered them maybe 8 times throughout the summer. The rest has been natural rainfall, and that's it. That's all we did to them. We still got a great harvest, but we did get a little bit less bug damage, and we've got a little bit bigger carrots from thinning them out moderately, as would be expected. So this is what I always say, gardening is situational. If you don't have time, don't stress out over it, but don't let it stop you from planting a garden in the first place. The biggest thing you can do is just get out there and start growing. After that, everything else is going to be dependent on your life. So if your garden is not perfect, it doesn't matter. You're still out there growing.
Right here, when I dumped out a bunch of seeds, this is what happened. Beans grew.
Nice. You just dumped them right up on top of the soil?
Uh-huh.
That's it?
Yep.
Nice. That's a cool experiment.
And we did not even take care of them.
Nice.
The earth did.
The other thing I learned is that there's a couple of varieties that we're gonna wanna grow every single year, and there's a couple of varieties that will probably never grow again. That's just the way it is. Until we grow these plants in our climate, we're just not going to be sure what produces and what doesn't produce, what is more apt to get disease and what is not. Just like this year, we found out with our Pikes Peak sunflower that I'll probably continue growing mammoth sunflowers because the Pikes Peak just don't quite get big enough, and they don't like the climate as much as the mammoth sunflowers that I've grown in the past. Also, we found a brand new tomato variety that we're absolutely going to be growing every single year, and that's the Mortgage Lifter tomato. It gave us this incredibly beautiful ripe tomato that made the best tomato sandwich that I've almost ever had. Incredible tomato, great tomato plant, very little disease. Stuff like that we're gonna find out when we're gardening just through experience. Otherwise, there's nobody who can tell you what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. We just need to do it ourselves. So there's a million ways out there to garden. There's a million ways to grow. You find out which way it works best for you. With that being said, I wanna thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Expedition Homestead, and we'll see you in the next one.
A king bee.
Oh, it really looks like it is.
Oh my. That is the one big beet.
Do you think it'll be woody or does it look okay?
Looks okay.
Good. Bug damage?
No, only a worm eating the dirt off.
Perfect. There's more in there too.
Another king bee?
Wow. All right, now we also got some beets that we left in here from the season. Just to see.
I'm going to take this big guy.
Oh, show the camera. Ah, that's huge. And I'm sure that's got pest damage and stuff, but that is a giant beet. That's how big these things can get. Obviously, this one's a little bit past its prime for us, but it is in its prime for chicken food.
And this one is meant for bug food.